Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us for the Kindness Challenge. I'm Mary Beth. I'm Jill's assistant. And as I mentioned before I started the recording, Jill's not feeling well today. So I'm going to take over the Kindness Challenge. Could be a little dangerous. Who knows? So, go ahead and let me make sure that the chat's open. And go ahead and put in the chat and put in the chat where you're chiming in from, where you're joining us from. We'll give that a minute, and that gives us some time for more people to join us as well. San Diego, Brookfield, Wisconsin, Florida, San Jose, Stamford, Connecticut. Cindy, I worked in Stamford for 20 years. Northern California, Connecticut, Seattle, Santa Clarita. Excellent, excellent. So as you can see, we've got people from all over the country, all the different time zones joining us. So we all want to spread more kindness around the world. So let's do an open forum. And for those of you that have posted already, great. Go ahead and raise your hand if you want to be one of the first, and share what your conscious act of kindness is going to be or has been. So you can raise your hand in the chat. You can take yourself off mute. Sandy and Alexi. And then Alexi, if nobody else has raised their hand by that point, I'm going to, Sandy, can you put you have your video on, okay. There we go. So keep raising your hands, everybody. Sandy, thank you for joining us. Tell us again where you're from.
I'm from Santa Clarita, California, which is in northern Los Angeles County, near Magic Mountain, Six Flags Magic Mountain.
Wonderful. Yes. And what's your conscious act of kindness?
I, as a practice, smile at strangers because it raises it gets a smile in return, and it raises the vibrational frequency of people around. It spreads. So that's
excellent. Excellent. I love that. That's amazing. And you've got a very, very pretty smile too. And I love the sunflower behind your head as well. Thank you. And thank you for joining us. Okay. Alexi.
Okay. What I have been doing actually for a long time. And I approach strangers at the dog park, at the grocery store, at the ATM machine, at the gas bar, and I say, can I put a chuckle in your heart? And I proceed to tell them a joke. You don't know what kind of day they're having. Maybe they just lost a loved one or lost their job. And so for 2 minutes, I have a captive audience. They laugh out loud. It feeds my soul. And they may go home and share with another loved one. It just raises their spirits, even if it's for 2 minutes, but it lingers on into the day.
I love that. I love that. Do you have a go-to joke that you tell the same one over and over? Oh, no,
I got lots of them.
Well, give us a clean one.
Okay, a lady rushes out of the drugstore and realizes that she's locked the keys to her car. And she clasps her hands together, looks up to the heavenly skies and says, God, please send me somebody to unlock the keys to my car. 1 minute, a biker appears, tattoos, skull cap, big beer belly. Hey, lady, you need some help? Oh, please, sir, unlock the keys to my car. I have these meds for my daughter. I have to get home. Can you unlock the car? 1 minute, the car is unlocked. She clasps her hands one more time, looks up to the sky and says, God, thank you so much for sending me such a nice man. The biker overhears. He says, lady, I'm not a nice guy. I just got out of prison for car theft. With clasped hands one more time, she looks up to the skies and says, God, thank you so much for sending me a professional.
Love it. Love it. Awesome. All right. Alex, go ahead. I don't think I'm not going to be able to spotlight you since your camera is not working.
No, I'm sorry. My laptop has the camera in the lower bar, and the point where my laptop closes has been broken. So the camera is off. It doesn't work anymore. So I'm in the verge of buying a new one. My random act of kindness is I've been a grief counselor for the past 15 years. I am in the midst of some kind of turmoil in my life that would be too much to explain, but I can be whatever I want to be at this point, and I need to think if I still want to be a grief counselor. But my expertise is still here. And I know a lot of people have suffered loss in the past years, past 2 years. And it's not only to death, it's also circumstances and social contacts and work and even personal health. So if anyone in the group feels like it would be a good idea to talk about that and to find out what you could do to help yourself with some really healthy grief habits, I would be happy to offer 5 people an hour of my time coming week.
Oh, that's so generous of you, Alex. Thank you. Why
I
don't you go ahead?
I have a lot to be grateful for at this point, so I want to share that.
Thank you so much. If you want to post your offer in the chat so that people know how to
Yeah.
reach out to you. And can you give us all one tip right now, the best way, what would you offer, what advice would you offer to the group right now?
Well, one tip is not the one and all, but I would say give in. People fight their grief so badly. They try to fight their grief, but you have to understand the loss is what hurts you and the grief is what heals you. So stay clear from fighting your grief. It's a healing process. That
That's
would be
beautiful.
my one tip at this point.
Thank you very much. I'm
You're
sure
welcome.
I'm sure at least more than one person on this call will be able to take comfort in that.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. David. How you doing today, David? You're on mute.
Can you hear me now?
We can.
Okay, I'm doing great. How about you?
Pretty good.
Well, I'm glad you're here
Thank
to
you.
fill in for Jill. So I am working on publishing my 6th tax strategy book, and all of my Amazon book proceeds go directly to a foundation that I created for underprivileged kids and battered and abused mothers. So, but that's all. I'm publishing books and giving my proceeds to help kids and mothers in need.
That's wonderful. And you've mentioned that before, and it's a great organization and the work that you're doing is really great. So thank you for that.
All right, thank you.
You just wanna, and Carol.
There we go. I had to unmute. Yeah, Carol Stanley. And I also like to smile at people in the grocery store. You know, the masks just drive me nuts. But I love doing that. But what I've been doing for some time is sharing Jesus Calling. It's a very short but very powerful little devotional every day. And I've been sharing that online. And so that's my little random conscious acts of kindness.
That's lovely. That's lovely. Thank you very much. Joanne.
Hi, everybody. Nice to meet everyone today. I'm in a different business. I am a certified canine massage therapist. So what I have been doing is a couple of things. When someone's dog is in really, quote, like hospice, or there's nothing that the vets can do for the dog or something, I will offer free massages to the pet owners free of charge, because in my heart, I can't see charging them for something when I know, like, Alex is a grief counselor, so I think she knows what I'm saying too, and all of you do, I'm sure, have been touched by it. And I also don't really charge people. If they can afford my full charge, I take it. But if they really can't afford what my charges are, I ask them what they can afford because I can't see the pet not getting, the dog not getting the help it needs due to money problems. So that's what I do when I go to their houses too, to massage them. I also bring a bag of treats, and it seems like I know the money will come from other sources. I'm never worried about that. But I am so into, my passion obviously is dogs, but I also really feel for the owners too, who absolutely love their dogs and they're going through a difficult time as well. So like Alex said, with grieving, it also affects parents who are grieving the loss of their animal as well.
Okay.
So thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you. Thank you for doing that. I'm sure you've touched many, many lives by just having that. It's a policy. And
I hope so.
That's one of our seven return on kindness principles is flexibility. And I think that perfectly is a perfect example of the flexibility are okay. Thank you so much. Michelle.
You're welcome. Thank you.
For those of you who may have joined us a few minutes late, Jill she's not feeling well today, so she's asked me to take over the call. And right now we're sharing what our conscious acts of kindness are, and then we're going to go into breakout rooms and we'll do the sharing where you can offer the support for your offer support to others and ask for the support that you need in your business. So Michelle, what's your conscious act of kindness?
So I am actually in business because I believe I was called to it. It was very clear. I'm a faith-based entrepreneur. Otherwise, I could be sipping margaritas on a beach. So my active random acts of kindness on a daily basis are to be available for people to call and just kind of get ideas and strategies that could potentially really help launch their visibility or increase their visibility online. But I do host a group for heart-centered, forward-thinking entrepreneurs. And so once a month, I just host a meetup. I say, come in with your good questions, and we're going to discuss a topic. And I create an environment in where people feel nurtured and safe to kind of ask those questions and just grow their minds. I do that as a volunteer, and I'm very happy to do it. It feels like it's my purpose in all of this. And then I live in a senior community because my husband's a little older than me, so we qualify not because of my age. But there are so many sweet old ladies around here, and so they see that I've got an agenda. I'm always just running. I'm going. I'm going places. And so when they see me, I stop, I smile, I look them in the eyes, and I say, "How are you today, beautiful?" And they just light up. And it's just so beautiful to see that just somebody breathing a compliment into them that just makes them feel so warm inside. You could tell by their body language. They just kind of like, ah. So that's my little random act of kindness as well.
That's amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Did anybody else want to share? Rosemary, I see you. I see you waving down there.
Hi, can you hear me?
We can.
Okay, because I'm in my phone and my laptop because something's messed up with my earbuds, whatever. My acts that I love to do, I do a lot of charity work that it seems to happen organically. You meet the right person that needs some help. But I adopted a recovery home for women. They have 12 beds of women that are long-term residents. And I adopted them last year. And I do things throughout the year, like I just fill out cards that just say, keep going, you're doing great, you're awesome, that kind of stuff. And the facilitator at the place will put it under the pillow of someone that's having a rough day. Valentine's Day next week. Last year I brought balloons and candies. This year I'm not sure what I'm going to bring, but there's going to be Valentine's cards and things for these ladies that, they're just trying to keep themselves together one more day, and they have families and people that they're estranged from, and they need to know that somebody loves them. So that's what I love to do.
Those are amazing, amazing, wonderful. Thank you for sharing. Cheryl, are you able to come on camera?
No, camera's not working this morning, but I'm happy
Okay,
to.
I just can't spotlight you if you're
Yeah,
not.
no, that's fine. That's fine. No, I can. Do you want to take the
Go.
person who can?
No,
okay.
go right ahead.
Oh,
You've got the floor.
okay, sorry, I was a little late. I didn't get the link earlier,
that's okay.
so but Jill sent it to me when I sent an email. Well, I also serve on the boards of a few nonprofits that are consuming a lot of my time. But what I would probably highlight more so is that since losing my sister 21 years ago to ovarian cancer, I have been extremely involved in the ovarian cancer community, both on a larger scale nationally. There's actually a federal law named for my sister that I donated 3 years of my time to getting passed in Congress. But on an ongoing basis, I also participate every 6 months in Capitol Hill visits. They've been virtual in the last year or two with the ovarian cancer community to urge our legislators to support ovarian cancer research. There's an ovarian cancer research program fund. And then we also keep My Sister's Law funded. But then on a one-to-one basis, whenever someone, has a friend who is diagnosed or is having a recurrence, they know to call me, and I can either connect them with other people. In one case, a friend's close friend, I was able to connect her with a physician who helped prolong her life by 3 years because she was being told all she had was hospice as an option by her doctor. And I knew of some other medications that aren't widely used, and I put her in touch with a doctor who said, yes, you're a candidate. And anyway, so that's kind of my ongoing mission. I didn't want my sister to have suffered and died in vain because her story was far too common. I discovered as I went to conferences during her 3 years of survival to learn what I could about saving her. But what I learned was that her story was tragically common, and thousands of American women every year are being diagnosed late and dying because they didn't know enough about the disease to recognize the symptoms and risk factors. And that's critical. That's what her law does. It created a national education awareness program.
That's amazing. And thank you for all of your work that you do there.
Yeah, thank you. The least I can do.
Who's next? Natalie. You're on mute, Natalie.
Hey, sorry about that. I went to unmute myself and my phone dropped. So much like David, I am an author. I wrote my first book, and the proceeds go to an orphanage, a couple of different places, but for one, an orphanage in Haiti that I still work as closely as possible through these turbulent times. It's a little hard to get there. In my professional life, I actually have been working in employee benefits for about 18 years. And one of the things that it has afforded me the opportunity to do is when someone has a very serious claim like cancer, or I had a gentleman, a young guy who turned 30 in a nursing facility because he had crashed his motorcycle and was in very bad shape. It's given me the opportunity to come alongside them and help them through things and pray with them and really support them rather than just selling an insurance product. And the last thing I want to mention is a little different because just before COVID started, I really felt like the Lord was saying to me, it's time to also take care of your family, and to put some extra attention on your family, both core family and extended. And so one of the things I do, and I'm in South Carolina today visiting my dad and delivering his calendar, is I take a calendar each year and I write special notes in them for each of my family members. And throughout the year, I'll send them things like something silly, like there's one day of the year that is National Oreo Cookie Day, and I'll send them a small packet of cookies, or Pink Flamingo Day. And I know that sounds a little less important maybe, but just reaching out to them, and you never know, on a particular day they receive something and it's that one thing that just lifts their day. And
Exactly.
so I enjoy that. Yeah. So
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for sharing and thank you for joining us. Cindy. You're on mute.
Got it. Got it. Nice to see you all. This is my first, I met Jill not that long ago. So this is my first introduction to this. I'm really happy to be here and gosh, so much inspiration already. There are a couple things that I do with the brand that I'm affiliated with. We get these daily little inspirational notes. And I oftentimes just choose a couple people just to forward those to, so it lands in their inbox. And today, imagine receiving this in your text message. I hope beautiful things happen to you, and when they do, I hope you can believe you are worthy of every single one of them. Be well, friends. And that's just something nice that because we know people are just going through so much, and just that who you can surprise with that little note, I think is really nice. And it brings me so much joy to be able to do that. It's something fun to do. When you think about who could you surprise, it's kind of fun.
That's incredible. And a lot of times those messages are going to be very timely for them, but you had no idea when you said, I want to send it to this person. I've seen that happen a lot.
Yeah, it's amazing. Another one that I do is that I offer a healthy habits analysis, and I base my business around 4 pillars, and just a way for somebody to check in with themselves. And then I offer them a free coaching session to kind of go over what's going on for them, and helping. They always get off the phone with a few golden nuggets for them to take action on, even if we don't even work with one another. But it's always a great way. I just did one, and it was really cool to be able to see this woman just feel the love and care, and being able to be heard. So those are all, that's really joyful for me to be able to do that for people.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing. Thank you. Who's next? We have CJ.
Well, hello, everybody. Good morning. It's actually just past 6 a.m. here where I am. So I missed the beginning. I'm afraid I was very early for me, but thank you for hosting this. I am a comedy self-help author. I write about infidelity and breast cancer as well. My next book has the working title. It's going to come out in October. My Wild Ride: How to Thrive After Breast Cancer and Infidelity. And the way that I try to help people is to put as much humor in their lives as possible, to make them laugh. That's my main thing. But in terms of breast cancer, I did a huge amount of research for the second book. One book that I read, which really resonated, which actually shocked me, was called Dressed to Kill. And the points in that book I felt were very important to bring up in every podcast I've been doing subsequent to reading it, because it showed me through very extensive survey that was done and other studies worldwide, that the link between bras and breast cancer is actually stronger than the link between smoking and lung cancer. And I think that's such an important point that I wanted to make sure that whenever I'm talking, that I bring that up, because it's such a simple thing. And if I can save one life from breast cancer by telling women that bras can help you on the road to breast cancer, and we don't want that, then I think I've helped the world. So that's me, CJ Grace. Thank you for listening.
You're very welcome. Thank you. Next, we have Phyllis, and then Benetta. And if we don't have anybody else, then we'll go into the breakout rooms. Hi, Phyllis.
Hi. First of all, before I forget, Lauren Ashman was waving. I don't know whether she didn't know how to raise her hand or if she was just waving at someone. If she
Okay.
didn't know how to raise her hand, I wanted to tell her that you go to reactions and you'll see a thing that says raise hand. So anyway, my conscious act of kindness, I do a few things. One thing that I started doing when COVID hit a couple of years ago and our church had to close, I started a daily email that I send out, and I still send it out because people enjoy it. And I do it to all my groups, not just church group. I play bridge in a duplicate bridge club, and I send it out to them. And I belong to the Year of Miracles, and the small group that I was in 2020, I sent it out to them, and started other groups because it kind of fans out. People share it with other people, and I get back from them requests to be put on. What I do is there's always a song, and there's things that I take off of Facebook, the nice little cute things that people say, positive things about whatever, have a blessed day, have a funny things. A couple of you mentioned that you use humor. I try to put a lot of humorous stuff in there. Sometimes it's news things. I get a thing on from the internet called the Morning Brew that's like a small newspaper, and sometimes I'll take sections of that and put it in there. And I'm in Gainesville, Florida, and I get a thing, the city of Gainesville News sends out a email thing every now and then, so I'll send that out, especially if it has something to do with some holiday or something that's going on. And even though a lot of these people are all over the United States, and a few of them even overseas, but they still enjoy seeing and hearing what's going on. And a lot of things that are in those news things aren't just to do with our local area. So I've been doing that for a while. And before COVID hit, what I used to do was I would get the gold dollars from the bank, the presidential dollars and the Sacagawea dollars and the silver Susan B. Anthony dollar coins. And when I was out anywhere, like if I was out to dinner, I would go around, and if there were kids, I would ask the parents if I could give their kids something for their piggy banks. And of course, that always brought a lot of joy to the whole family.
Thanks. Very generous.
So those are some of my conscious acts of kindness.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Phyllis.
Thank you. Thank you all for all that you do. I love hearing your stories of what you do.
Isn't this great?
Yeah, it's great.
Benetta.
Good morning, everyone. I hope all of you are doing good. Thank you, Maribeth. My conscious act of kindness is coming from my trip in Senegal, West Africa. I went there and I noticed women are just walking. No smile, no laughing, no good time. It's just walk all day going home. So I came back here and I created a group. And I said, with this group, we just want to laugh, nothing else. We're just going to come here every 2 days or 3 days and we just laugh. And it was seven of them. So I started talking and no one was laughing, no one was smiling. And I said, okay, since we don't have anything to laugh at, so let's talk about sex. So when I said that everyone has just a smile, everyone was laughing. No, we're not talking about that. And I said, bingo, there are so many things we can laugh at, we can have a smile. So this group is for that. From now on, every week, we're gonna meet one time just to share what makes us laugh. We were 7 people, now we are 70 people, 70 women, just coming to laugh, to smile, to share stories. And it's so exciting.
I love that. And just an hour of laughter. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. All right. Laura and then Lynn.
Hi, everybody. It's so encouraging to hear everybody's stories. And this is actually my first time in the group. So thank you. One of the things that I have offered my friends is this heart-shaped box. And I cut up little sparkly cards. You can see the sparkles. And I've put affirmations, but also things that are very particular to my friends. Like if they're a creative person, but may not feel as creative as we know them to be, to say, I am creative. So when my friend picks it out of the box, she feels affirmed. And I didn't realize the significance that it gave them. One friend called me a year ago with tears in her eyes saying, you don't know the impact that this sparkle box, this heart-shaped sparkle box has given me, because I leave it by my night table and open one every morning. And it's really helped encourage her in, moving forward through this tough time. Another thing that I do is I'm a big time animal lover, as many of you are, and I love the massaging dog story. And I adopted a dog from Korea after my dog of 16 years was put down. He was a Pomeranian. And I was very blessed. 3 months later, my friend from high school told me about this beautiful charity called Free Korean Dogs, and it's freekoreandogs.org. And it's a Canadian charity that rescues dogs from the dog meat trade in Korea. And I was absolutely horrified to learn that 3 million dogs are kept in these horrible conditions and then used for dog meat soup. I thought it was just like an ancient thing, but it's going on. And so when people ask me about my beautiful dog, they say, what kind of dog is that, when I'm walking him? Because he's such a beautiful boy. And he's a Spitz, which in Canada or the United States would be a North American Eskimo dog, or what they call an Esky. But in Europe and also probably in Korea, they're called Spitz. So he's probably a Japanese Spitz rather than a North American Esky. And so rather than saying the breed, which would be so easy to do, oh, he's a Spitz, when people say, what a lovely dog when I'm walking him. When people say, what kind of a dog? I use that as an entree into saying, I actually don't know the exact breed. I think he's a Spitz, but he flew 30 hours in an airplane from South Korea to Canada. And he arrived in a kennel, and they're like in shock. And then once that engagement has occurred, I asked them if they would like to take out their phone and write down Free Korean Dogs, and if they wish to share it and help the dogs. So I always say to people, you don't know the effect that you're making by sharing this by Facebook or however you do this with your network, that there's going to be some dogs that have been freed from the dog meat farms because of you. And they're like, wow, okay. And they do that. Another thing that I've all my life had somewhat of an OCD habit. And it's funny and ironic because when I was 12, I used to wash my hands up to my elbows about 5 times a day, thinking that turning off the faucet with the same hand I turned it on with when my hands were dirty was going to re-dirty my hands. So then I'd start using my elbow. It just got out of hand. For about 2 years, I was seeing a therapist to help me. And now with COVID, I'm able to really help people when they're in the state of worrying about washing their hands and just wanting to do the due diligence to cope with cleanliness and not spreading germs. I feel like I have a PhD in hand washing. So I help people with like relaxing, but doing the hand washing. So I've kind of overcome the stress related to it. And my OCD continues, but in a way that I hope helps dogs. When I'm walking my dog and I see broken glass, like someone's thrown a beer bottle or a bottle, frat kids, on sidewalks, I will go and pick up the glass thinking, I hope that I'm saving a dog who might prance on the glass. Or if I see someone's thrown an apple core or a chocolate bar half eaten, I will gather it and put it in the garbage and hand sanitize, just to sort of help the the unwitting dog, the dog that doesn't know that there's something there on the sidewalk that could be potentially not good for him or her. And I also have a friend who's going through a lot of depression during this COVID crisis. She's very lonely and isolated, as many are. And I make an effort to call her twice a day and check in with her. And she's adjusting a medication right now, basically an anxiety depression meds. And she's going through horrendous effects from the medication, trying different meds and withdrawal and such. And she cries when she calls me, and she's in various states. And I do my best just to listen, but to pray with her because she really appreciates prayer. And we do that once a day. And she says it's really helped her to restore a sense of that there's God in her life, but there's also a friend that is there and loves her and cares for her. So I don't know where that fits into all the random acts of kindness, but those are sort of things I focus on every day.
Thank you so very, very much. That was wonderful.
Thank you.
And lastly, we have Lynn Robinson. You're on mute. There you go.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Oh my goodness. It just is so heartwarming to hear everything that everyone's doing. We don't hear enough about all the beautiful, beautiful people in the world and the beautiful kindness. So thank you for inviting everyone. And so listening to everyone, I can't remember who it was, but someone mentioned about a calling. And so for me, my work really is my calling. So I teach communication skills, I teach leadership skills, I teach people from the inside out how to be really kind and loving and respectful. So even though it might be a corporate group, it doesn't matter to me who it is, where it is. The intention behind it is always to help people recognize that how we speak to each other on a minute-to-minute basis is really critical. So it's beautiful to be kind and do things at random, and that's wonderful and beautiful. For me, I just am so passionate about helping people to change the way they think about people and recognize that every moment, moment by moment, every word they speak, every action they take, every interaction they have is really important, because we are influencing others, we're touching others. And so I'm sure, as you can tell, it's like I've been doing this for 25 years. And honestly, I just absolutely love helping people when I see that shift where they get it, they recognize the difference. And it's so beautiful. So thank you, everyone, for all those beautiful things that you're doing. So that's my ongoing. I just want to be a kind, loving person every moment. And I need to remind myself, especially based on all the things that are happening. But for me, that's what it's about. It's about being kindness and being a loving human being. So
1000%. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Lynn. Those were all, every single one, absolutely amazing. And let me just share my screen really quickly. Yeah. Too many windows open. So here is the, these are the seven pathways of kindness. So, and I've seen, I mean, a lot of you touched on more than one of these pathways in your conscious acts of kindness. So we're going to go over these more tomorrow. That's going to be our topic for tomorrow's challenge. So start thinking about which one of these 7 pathways do you practice the most, and which one do you feel you need to practice more? But like I said, some of you are hitting 2 or 3 of these pathways in everything that you do. So that's just wonderful. Thank you, everybody, so much. Okay, so now it's time for breakout rooms. And as if you're familiar with the kindness circles, what we do is you're going to be in groups of 4. We'll have 10 minutes, so 2 minutes a piece to share. Somebody please be the timekeeper. Just volunteer to be the timekeeper right as soon as you jump into the room. Give them 2 minutes. And so what you're going to do is you're going to state what it is that you do and what kind of support you can offer. And then also ask for the support that you need in your business. Is that clear to everybody? Is there any questions on that? No? Okay. Well, with that said, I'm going to go ahead and open up the breakout rooms, and I will see you back here in 10 minutes. Enjoy, everybody. Okay, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. I hope those were fruitful conversations for you. We've got about 8 minutes left, so why don't we take 3 or 4 quick shares? Who would like to share what took place within their little breakout? Jeanette, I see you.
Did I go?
Go right ahead.
That was perfect. There were three of us in the room, and it was amazing. I had wanted to ask CJ a question, and I was able to talk to her a little bit. And Hannah is delightful. I don't know that she introduced herself before, but it was like I may have missed it because I came in a few minutes late. But I've known Jill for 15 years, so it's really good to see everybody here.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you. Would anybody else like to share?
And Jeanette, I'd love to be on your show. Jeanette.
You are.
Okay, wonderful. I'd love it. I'm sorry, I'm in the car. So
it's okay.
Okay, it's great to be here with all you guys, with all you gals and guys.
Thank you for joining us, Hannah.
Thank you.
Would anyone else like to care to share? Rosemary.
Lexi and I connected, and it was one of those divine interventions. We are definitely going to connect, and I know we will be working together because her cause is near and dear to my heart, and I know I have a lot of clients that will definitely need some of her services. So it was just perfect. Thank you.
I have to say, I see that over and over again during our monthly kindness, with the year of kindness. People are, I randomly do the breakout rooms. And if we do, if we have time to do a second breakout room, I mix them up again, and people are always put in the rooms with the people they need to meet. I see it time and time again. So thank you for sharing that. We have time for one more. Anybody? Gail, I see you there. You're on mute.
I was in a group with three other people, Buddy, Cheryl, and Laura, and they are doing some profound things. Buddy's expertise is in LinkedIn, and he can help us be known, liked, trusted, and remembered. Cheryl, of course, is coming out of the terrible life experience of having lost her sister. And Laura is doing her work with pets, if I'm remembering correctly. It was just a great experience of blending life happenings and showing how we can support and get support. Thank you.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We have time for one or two more, or we can wrap it up if there's no other shares.
Mary Beth, do you have an email address?
My email is info@jilllublin.com, and I'll put that in the chat.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I just end with one really quick quote or little tale?
Go right ahead.
Okay, a little boy goes up to his dad and he says, "Dad, I know who I'm going to marry." And his father says, "So who's the lucky girl?" "It's Grandma. She loves me. She's a great cook and she's an awesome storyteller." "Well, there's a bit of a problem, son." "What's that, Dad?" "Well, you can't marry my mother." "Well, why not? You married mine."
Love it.
Good one.
Love it, love it, love it. Okay, well, everyone hold out your kind thoughts for Jill to be feeling better tomorrow so that she can do this instead of me. The kindness is her expertise, not mine. Although I am a kind person. I like to think so anyways. Thank you all for joining us. If you haven't joined the Facebook group yet, let me post that link in the chat. If I can get there. And it's just a great place for everybody to connect with one another. If you shared contact details with people in the chat, or you want to connect with somebody, be sure to save the chat I don't have any access to any private conversations or any chats that were done in the breakout room. So other than that, we will see you guys tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel, same Zoom link.